And we're live, Bears in Buffalo podcast, season 7, episode 5. We're back at it again for another week of football after pretty exciting week, I do say so myself. That's echoing. All right, we're back. Little technical difficulties. Back at it again here. We had some good games, the Bills game especially. We'll get into that because before we talk Bills,
game of the year. Right?
We're gonna talk beer before I forget for like the third episode in a row about the beer.
Be beer of the year?
It could be beer of the week.
I love a good IPA.
It could be beer of the year.
Jumping ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Let me get up on here what we're drinking. Here we go, boys and girls. All right, we got ourselves this week Animal Style by the Beer Tree Brew Company, and they're out of Johnson City, New York. No clue where that is. If I had a guess, not the city, because I was browsing their website and they had a Pils Mafia beer or something like that, something Buffalo Bills themed, and if it was close to the city, it wouldn't be Bills themed. So I'm thinking it's somewhere maybe central New York.
Could be. I really like the can on this one, and you know I'm a sucker for cans, and this is a nice can. It's clean, but it gives me like a 90s vibe with it too.
Yeah, it's really
with the font. It's got the animal prints in the logo on it too, which is nice. Even the can itself looks like it's a zebra stripe, maybe.
Yeah, there's like, I don't know. They got a bunch of stuff going on here with the logo.
It's a really nice color.
So it's an American IPA, 6.5% alcohol. They got 4 different types of hops on the front of this, so I'm guessing this is like a blend of different types of hops. Columbus, Simcoe, Chinook, and Amarillo hops all in this bad boy. Like I said, Beer Tree Brew Company, never heard of them. Picked it up at Consumers today, $14.99 for a 4-pack. Color on this is great, dude.
Color's great.
This looks a lot darker than I was thinking. It kind of reminds me of
like an amber, though, like an amber style beer. But this is good. Let's see.
Let's see what we got here.
Oh, that hits you right in the taste buds.
That's good.
Jinx.
It does taste more like an ale than it does an IPA. And maybe that's the American IPA. Again, I don't know. Sometimes some of these things are just like marketing, but it doesn't taste like, it's not like a hazy like we had before. It tastes kind of like a hybrid of like an IPA.
It doesn't even look like the picture that's on the
there's some sunlight though in the back. It's probably a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot brighter in that picture because you're right. It's dark in person here.
It looks a lot more like a red ale for sure. Or an amber ale.
It does. Let me throw up the...
It's very good.
I like it. A good head on this thing. I actually poured a decent time.
Yeah, you finally poured a good beer.
Oh, yeah. Now I can top it off. You always got to get it down so you can top it back off again.
We got like a 12-ounce glass and a 16-ounce beer. So
yeah, I got to find like pint glasses.
Well, what happened to the big boy mugs?
Isn't that? No, that is a pint glass.
Oh, it should be.
So the 16 ounces, not a pint. Is it more than a pint?
I think because the 16 ounces goes right to the rim, and we don't ever actually fill it to the rim.
Yeah, we need some beer education, apparently.
You should get those big, like, I might actually have some at home.
A Das Boot?
No, I used to have a boot. Back in the day, I used to have a boot. That thing was fun to drink out of, and I could never do it like they did in, was it Beer League?
Beer Fest?
Beer Fest? Yeah,
Beer Fest,
where he drinks it and then they teach you how to turn it so you don't get the air like bubbling. Yeah. Anyways, but I do have some like bigger glasses that I could probably bring over. I just got to find them.
All right. I highlighted a green so it's easier for the viewers at home to see what line we're on here too.
Oh,
but
nice.
So Animal Style, 6.5%, American IPA. Honestly, I liked last week's. I gave them a modest 7.2. I'm going to slightly, and I like hazies, but I think it's a little bit better just because it is not straight IPA. It's not straight ale. It's like a hybrid of something I haven't really had before. I would say this is a IPA, like a IPA friendly beer. Like if you're not an IPA person and you want to get into IPAs, this is something to get you in there. I'm going to raise the bar here, 7.7 on the scale.
I wasn't going to go that much higher. I was also thinking 7.7 on this one just because I like it a little bit more than last week's.
Yeah.
because this is a very easy IPA to drink.
It is.
You have to like IPAs to really understand what an IPA actually tastes like. And if this is labeled as an IPA and you get this and then you go to a different IPA, you're going to be really confused in the taste a little bit. But I think this is really good. I'd probably go 7.7. I think I got to agree with you. I think it's a really good beer, slightly better than last week. I've had better IPAs that are hazy and more fruity.
Because it doesn't have, it's not like super hop though in your face either. And it's got 4 different like hop blends in it or whatever you want to call it, types of hops in it.
It's not crazy hoppy. It's not crazy fruity. It's more on the beer side, if you quote unquote beer side of an IPA, if that makes sense. Like, if you drink a beer and then you drink this, and you'd be like, oh, this is an IPA. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like, you could go from a Miller Lite to this and be like, oh, this is really good. I don't really notice the difference. But if you go from like a hazy IPA to a Miller Lite or vice versa, you notice the difference.
Maybe like a New England style IPA.
Right.
Those hazies.
The double IPAs.
Yeah,
like
definitely a double.
Like a hay burner. This
for sure.
If you go from a Miller Lite to a hay burner,
you could tell.
You're going to notice a difference. If you go from a Miller Lite to this, you'd be like, oh, this is really good.
Although I think hay burners aren't too crazy, but maybe just because I'm used to them and that's a local beer to us, and I usually get those a lot if they're on the menu.
Yeah, I do the same.
Hay burner is probably one of my favorite IPAs, and the White Bronco from BBC. So
yeah, the White Bronco is very good too.
And they actually make the Baby Bronco now, which is a lighter version of that. So like it comes down a couple proof points in percentage there, and it's a little easier to sip. You could have a couple of those and not get messed up. The Bronco, it's like you're almost a one and done. Well, but they're delicious though.
Well, do you remember when Hay Burner had the triple IPAs?
They had a triple?
They had it was
Big Ditch.
I'm sorry, the double Hay Burner.
Oh, is it?
I never got the
Sleigh Burner.
No, Sleigh Burner's different. That's like their Halloween version of it.
Okay,
but they had a double Hay Burner.
I thought that was the Sleigh because I know the Sleigh was definitely higher in percentage.
It's a different taste,
and then there was the Day Burner, which was lighter.
So they had the Day Burner, the Hay Burner, the double Hay Burner, and the Sleigh Burner.
And I've seen like another one. They had like a pineapple burner or something. I've seen
the pineapple one's good, but I've never gotten to try the double one. I don't know if you can only get it at the brewing company themselves, legitimately, but. The double Hay Burner I heard was very dangerous. Yeah. This is nice. You're not going to get fucked up.
I do like this. This is definitely
sorry
an easy
my
drinker.
Kids are watching still. They wanted to watch. So
all right, awesome. You're famous.
I'm famous. Famous.
All right, guys. We're going to get into it here. Bills game. Bills defeat the Ravens Sunday night, 41-40 in what some are calling, and you've already alluded to it, the best game of the year after only 1 week of football. I would agree. Bills completed an almost impossible comeback. I think it was around 1%, down 15 with around 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. How did we get there? I mean, we started off, though, with a great start to that game, which I didn't think was going to happen. I thought we'd start even slower than that, but we did start with a touchdown. We had the first touchdown of the game, 15-yard catch. Dalton Kincaid posted a respectable 4 for 48 and a touchdown in this game. Probably his best game since 2 years ago, I would say. I literally think that I would say that. I think all of last year's games, nothing compared to even his 4 for 48 and a touchdown in week 1 today. It's glad to see him back. He did make a lot of big catches.
Minus that 15-yard touchdown, which wasn't it was a big catch, but it wasn't like towards the end of the game when we were talking about Coleman and Palmer. But it wasn't a huge catch, but he did make some other catches.
He sparked it right away, started the offense. And then after that, it was pretty much the Ravens in the driver's seat for I'd say 95% of that game. Baltimore took a 10-7 lead in the second quarter. Derrick Henry get in the end zone on one of his 3 30-plus runs of the night. And we talked about this last week. You need to be able to focus on the run, limit the big plays. And did they gouge the defense, dude? We looked like Swiss cheese out there.
So that was my biggest takeaway from preseason was how bad our backups looked against other teams, because I had high hopes going into this preseason this year with how we stacked our backups and our help, and it was just like it just looked so bad in the preseason. I was like, we're probably going to get a repeat of last year when it comes to the defense. You got our studs, you got Milano. You got Ed Oliver. Shout out to Ed Oliver. Great game by him. Huge game. And it's just one of those things where it's like, here we go again. Like, we're going to have to rely on our starters and hope that these secondary pieces just make one play. And we didn't really see it up until the fourth quarter.
No, that's right, man. We were struggling for most of that game on defense, and hunkered down there in the end. But like I said, we talked about it last week, dude. We were trying to limit the run game. I thought maybe they'd do a little bit better of a job limiting Derrick Henry after he went for almost 200 last year on us. He ended up with 18 for 169 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He had over 100 at the half. I could have kept live betting and winning money. That's how many yards he was getting in chunks. Like, it went from, I think it opened at like 90 or 80. It might have been like around 80 yards or something like that. And then as soon as he got that, it went to like 110. And then as soon as it went to that, it went to like 130, 150, 160. Yeah. You could have kept winning money if you were live betting Derrick Henry rush yards the whole game. Unfortunately, stop at 170 because you would have been a yard short.
Yeah, I actually did see somebody posted that they live bet at the half Derrick Henry over 170.
And he finished a yard
short. He finished a yard short, and they put like a good chunk of money on it because they were like, "This is a shoe-in. This is easy money right here." It's like,
I never know what to believe on some of these bets that they post online. People are throwing like $5,000 and it's a fake ticket.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of fake tickets. My favorite thing to do is when I'm questioning a fake ticket, I'm like, I bet these comments are just loaded with like, this is fake,
and they're all dogging them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I think I saw this same ticket on somebody else's post. I'm like, yeah, this is fake.
I saw somebody post a 5-legger on Facebook on one of those like betting things, and it definitely looked fake. The guy bet $400 to win. It was 40-something thousand, and he did win it. And I did the math with the odds, and it actually calculated out to only 20,000. So still a good chunk.
Yeah, great chunk.
But I think what happened was there was some juice because he bet 3 touchdown scorers on Baltimore, but the Bills to win. So I think the extra juice is going, how are you going to bet 3 touchdown scorers but the opposite team to win the game?
Yeah.
It made DraftKings, they might have boosted it because of that. Because I've definitely seen that where they'll give you more juice if your bets kind of don't make sense. If you're going to bet a bunch for one side, but then ultimately bet this team to win, they might juice that. So double it is kind of crazy, but still like, regardless, $400, which I would never throw on a single bet.
No,
but he won $40,000 apparently. So congrats to that guy. If that's real. So like I said, it seems like every time the Bills would score, the Ravens would follow suit on this. We were both with both the run and the pass game clicking for Baltimore. Zay Flowers, who didn't play in the AFC divisional round last year, he finished with 7 for 143 and a touchdown. And it just seems like the Bills just kept giving up big play after big play. DeAndre Hopkins, who many believe is well past his prime at this point in his career.
Oh my God!
Makes a top 10 one-handed touchdown catch in the third quarter to put the Ravens up 34-19.
Dude, we can combine our hand sizes, and they're still smaller than DeAndre Hopkins. That dude always does this to the Bills. He did this in Arizona too, and I'm just like, and when he made that catch, I think you were still over my house. I'm just like,
I was.
This fucking dude just does not stop against the Bills. Like, it's like he's our kryptonite. Get him off teams that we can face in the postseason and regular season and just fucking retire at this point. It's ridiculous. Like, but shout out to him though, because that was a phenomenal catch. Like, not hand size doesn't make that catch. You have to have the skill to do it too.
I mean, that catch there put him back up by 2 scores, so it was a big play in the game. Excellent coverage by Benson on the play. Actually, I saw the replay. He almost stripped it out of his hands, and it kind of moved a little bit. And I don't remember seeing this on the replay when I was at your house watching this, but he catches it, and it sticks like crazy. Like, the ball didn't move, but when he brings it in, Benson came down with the strip, and it kind of moved, and then he secured it again, and then he fell to the ground. So it was actually pretty close to being kind of like, a bobble there and maybe an incomplete pass or catch. But, I mean, that dude still, like you said, making incredible catch against the Bills, it seems like year after year against us.
And that one with Arizona, Trey White
that was to win the game, too.
Trey White had perfect coverage. Like, Trey White probably couldn't have had better coverage against that. He just needed some help, somebody else to come over and help with that Hail Mary.
Yeah. So this is right about where I left your house.
Yeah.
After Henry's second rushing touchdown, a 46-yarder, I thought to myself, game's over. I wasn't alone. Half the stadium decided to leave, I think, around that time as well. They kept showing people leaving in droves, dude, out of the stadium.
And got called out by Josh in the postgame. Did you see that? Yeah,
I saw that. I saw that. It's respectable. I like that.
You should also be part of the people that get called out.
I don't
you didn't
care.
Stay for the end of the game.
That's true, and I'll admit to that. But let's look at that. What I just said in the beginning of this: a 1% chance to win the game at a certain point in with time left. And this was actually, I think, even before that, because I didn't stay for the missed extra point, which I'll get to in a second. Yeah, he called out a bunch of fans for not staying for the game, but he's like, I understand, it's Sunday night. People got to work in the morning, but have a little faith is what he said.
Yeah.
And I'd like to agree with Josh on that, have a little faith, but it wasn't like we were playing the Carolina Panthers. We were playing arguably the next best team in the NFL next to the Bills, and a team that we couldn't stop all night, and a team that just kept matching us or we were matching them on offense. It almost seemed like it really was not going to work out in our favor. And I could have seen us still losing that game by 7 and still scoring a lot of points. But no way did I think, especially at that point in time, the Bills would ever complete a comeback. So I'd say, I left your house right after that 46-yarder, and that's when the Ravens rookie kicker, Tyler Loop, misses the extra point, and the tides kind of turn at that point. Bills had a little luck on their end. Josh Allen, at quarterback, you can complete a comeback with a little luck, and Josh, I guess. Keon Coleman catches a deflected ball, 4th and 2 in the end zone to bring the game within 8 points, and then the next Baltimore drive was only 2 plays before, like you said earlier, Ed Oliver strips Henry, only turnover of the game, and it was an important one, given the Bills' excellent field position and resulting in the Josh Allen 1-yard touchdown run. On that drive, that was the Jackson Hawes, I think it's Jackson Hawes, rookie tight end. He's our third-string tight end. I think it's Jackson. I know it's Hawes.
It's Hawes. Jackson sounds off, but Hawes sounds right.
All right. We'll go with Jackson Hawes.
Let's call him Hawes. Call him Hawes. What's up, Hawes? Big Hawes. We'll call him Big Hawes.
Even the announcer was thought it was Knox, and then he's like, Jackson Hawes, the third string tight end, makes the catch. He was even caught off guard. Great catch, gets down to the 1-yard line. That leads to Josh running in for a 1-yard scramble there. The Bills go for 2, miss for the third. I think it was the third time they tried to go for 2 that game and missed, which kind of sparked, and we'll go off here on a tangent here, did not agree with a lot of the 2-point conversion attempts. Now, I get the first one, but still, all right, the Bills, here's what I'm thinking. Sean McDermott trying to be aggressive against a good team.
Makes sense.
They get the penalty, you're 1 yard closer, you try to do something, you don't get it. Now you're in the whole game. If you don't continue to get 2-point conversions, it adds and adds and adds to the score deficit, which is why I don't like going for it that early in the game. I don't like going for it when they went for it the second time. I say just keep kicking extra points, and then you don't have to worry about it later. But I understand why he did it. And, of course, we're all saying this now because he didn't get the 2-point conversion. He gets the 2-point conversion, and everybody's saying it was a genius move.
Yeah, right. That's always how it is. Anytime something doesn't work out, you're going to question it. But when it works out, they're a fucking genius. But when they got the extra point, it was they could either decline the penalty, take that extra point, or decline it and go for 2, or accept it and go for 2. I don't understand that. You got that point.
Right.
Just go. 1 point, you're already down.
I know.
You're not padding the score at that point. Getting 2 more when you're up and you got to make them come back makes a little bit more sense. But when you're down, every point matters. And I really think they should have just kept that extra point. Thankfully, it worked out. Yep. But at the same time, I think when you're down, you got to take what you can get. You got to take every point. And when you take an extra point off the board to go for 2, when you got a 50-50 chance of getting it or not, and we already lost 1, we really should have just taken an extra point and just kept the game going. But thankfully it worked out, but I didn't agree with that at that moment. And I think you were still there at that point, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. Not on the third. Well, which one? Not on the third.
Whichever one where we kicked an extra point. It was good. They gave us a point.
Yeah, it was early in the game. That was I think that was the first one.
Well, that was the second.
That was first or second, but that was earlier.
The second one.
That was early in the game
because we'd already missed a 2-point conversion. Then we went for it again, but we got the extra point, and then they called the penalty. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was the first. I thought it was the first one that we got the penalty, and that's what started everything.
But we were still down at that point too.
Yeah, of
even
course.
then,
and
no matter what.
That's why I say I don't totally disagree with it, because I know if you're an aggressive coach in the NFL, as soon as you get that extra yard, you're going to the playbook and go, what can we do to get a yard? Now, a lot of the time, I want to keep it in Josh's hand and have him roll out. I don't want him to sit back there in the pocket. He tried doing that fade route to Keon. I don't know which second or 2-point conversion that was, if it was the second or the third one, and that didn't work. It was great coverage by the cornerback, and he definitely had position on him, but I just always feel like just keep it in Josh's hand, roll out, and draw either the defense, and if they draw, throw it. If they don't, take your chances and plow over some little guy in the secondary.
So that's actually one of the things I heard listening to WGR. One of the fans called in. It's like, we're trying too hard to be like the Eagles when it comes to like short and goal, or like we're on the goal line and we're trying too hard to give Josh these easy like run-ins. If you go back to the Kansas City AFC Championship game last year, they missed 4 out of 7 short and goals because of that, because teams are figuring this out a little bit, and we're not the Eagles. We don't have it figured out the way they do. No. And I don't know what Sunday's percentage was, but people are saying, why aren't we doing a play action? We have Keon Coleman, who you just got to throw it just a little bit above him, and he's going to come down with it. We've got Dalton Kincaid.
What percentage are you talking about?
I'm talking about just goal line proficiency.
Okay.
We were 4 for 7 on the goal line last year, or they missed 4 out of 7 chances last year.
Okay.
Against the Chiefs in the playoff. Yeah, 3 for 7. And then I forgot what it was for the Baltimore game. But when we've got Keon Coleman, who is a big body receiver who can go up and get that ball and come down, you saw that catch that he made where he went up, and it looked like he was about 14 feet in the air and came down with it inbounds. Yeah. That was super impressive. We've got Dalton Kincaid, who's a big body tight end. We've got Dawson Knox, who's made catches like that in the past. I really feel like that we need to shift away from trying to just sneak Josh in or sneak James Cook in for these.
It just feels like a cheat code, though.
Just do a little play action, but it hasn't been working as effective.
Not as effectively, because people are ready for it. It
works,
but
it's not working as effectively. Right. So I do agree with the caller that called into WGR and was like, it's not working as good. Maybe do a little play action. And because you've got 4 receivers, you got Palmer, Coleman, Kincaid, and Knox, who are all capable of going up and getting a ball in the end zone. We've got 4 very good red zone threats, basically.
I agree.
It's just one of those things. It's just like, I think we kind of need to not shy away from just letting Josh trying to run it in, because he failed on the first attempt and ended up having to jump over, pull the ball back.
But look at you're still keeping it in Josh's hand. You're trying something different. They weren't obviously ready for it. It worked. But all I'm saying is just keep it in his hand. It doesn't have to be a sneak. It doesn't have to be a rollout. I want him to have the ball. I don't want it to be a hand. I almost never want it to be a handoff in the goal line to James Cook. Although I do think that works a lot, and that's probably why it worked last year so much and why Cook did have as many touchdowns as he had. And I think that's situational. On a 2-point conversion where you only have one chance, I want it in Josh's hand. But if it's first and goal from the 2, sure, run it James Cook 3 times. I don't care.
Yes.
But you have one chance to do this. You're keeping it in Josh's hand. You're giving the option to run, and you have the option to pass it.
But
because
that's
you have
what
2
I'm
different
saying.
outs.
That's why that caller had said, hey, I want this. It's still in Josh's hands when it's a play action. We don't have to do Josh sneaks to the left and jumps in, or Josh jumps over the top of the pile and gets a touchdown, pulls it back. But if you got to change it up a little bit, because it's very expected at this point, because we've been doing it now for the last couple of years, and the last few games has kind of turn the tides a little bit because defenses are starting to figure this out. I really think if you start throwing some play action in there, and if it's man-to-man coverage, then Josh can run in. Or if they're expecting the run, somebody's open. You got 4 guys in that, in the end zone that are going to be able to make those type of catches, especially with the addition of Palmer this year, who was phenomenal this game in his debut.
Well, let's finish out the game here. Buffalo fails on that 2-point conversion. The next Baltimore drive, Buffalo defense probably makes the most important, actually not probably, does make the most important stop of the game there. Forces kind of a 3-and-out there, and it was controversial whether or not the Ravens should have gone for it. I think it was 4th and 2. I think it only
4th and 3.
4th and 3.
On their own 40.
And you're almost midfield. I get it. If you don't get it, you pretty much are going to lose the game.
Yeah.
But if you get it, you win the game. A guarantee win the game. So thankfully, and I think there was a stat that came out, and Harbaugh goes for it on 4th down, the least amount in the NFL out of any other coach and team. So they punt the ball back to Josh, reigning MVP, 1:26 left to go. Josh hits Josh Palmer, 32-yard pass, then Keon for a 25-yarder, gets tripped up, would have walked in the end zone, sets him up for in field goal range, and we get Matt Prater, 41-year-old Matt Prater,
off the couch
to win the game.
Comeback player of the year.
We'll see how many game winners he's got.
Joe Flacco came back off the couch.
We'll see how many game winners. Let's see how many game winners he has.
I'm still salty about Hamlin.
41-year-old Matt Prater off the couch to kind of end the game here. Hits a 32-yarder to win. Bills win. Complete the comeback. Greatest comeback I've ever witnessed. It was an amazing game, and I'm mad at myself for leaving, but also 1% chance. What I keep telling myself. And I did end up turning the game back on. Like I got home and I got the notification because I had it off and I was on my phone. I was literally on YouTube just fucking around, and I saw touchdown Keon Coleman. That was the deflected pass.
Oh, the deflected pass.
So I go, all right. So I turn the TV on, and as I turn the TV on, fumble, and I'm like,
oh,
okay, so now we're back in it. Yep. And then I just watched the rest of the game from there. But big games, Keon Coleman, James Cook, of course, Josh Allen. Defense was banged up, managed to hold their own. Ed Oliver, 6 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, a sack, and a forced fumble. I mean, if you're not going to give it to one of the 3 offensive players of that game, I'd say Ed Oliver probably deserves the game ball in this situation just because there were no turnovers in this game. Both quarterbacks played clean.
There was 1 turnover, the fumble.
I know. There weren't any turnovers.
My
and
bad.
then Ed Oliver forces the only turnover of the game.
Okay, my bad.
And that's what I'm getting at. There weren't. It was a clean game up until that point. Okay. And Lamar played very well. We had no answer for him. Derrick Henry had a flawless game until he fumbled, and he was so mad at himself at that. They actually went back. They showed like the press conference from last year and Lamar saying we win the game without turnovers. And guess what? This would have happened again. They win the game without a turnover. Most likely.
Yeah, most likely.
So, yeah, man, Bills, they beat a really good team, probably a team we're going to see again. Also, Josh Allen surpassed Thurman Thomas in that game for most rushing touchdowns in franchise history at 66,
and he was
which
there
is crazy.
For that,
which is crazy because Thurman Thomas is an all-time great running back.
Who's in the Hall of Fame.
Who's in the Hall of Fame. Our quarterback just beat him, and he's not even close to retiring.
Yeah. My favorite stat was, I have 2 favorite stats for this game. My favorite stat going into this was Josh Allen has the most touchdowns as a quarterback out of any quarterback in their their first 8 seasons, and Josh Allen's first game of his 8th season was going to be Sunday night. So he already had more touchdowns than any quarterback over their first 8 years, and he was only in he's going into year 8. And my other favorite stat was teams leading 15 with less than 5 minutes to go were 277-0 until Sunday night. And now they're 277-1 thanks to Josh Allen, the reigning MVP. What kind of pissed me off was with the fans, like I know it was a home game, but even watching on TV, when Lamar was on the field, you could hear all the Ravens fans chanting MVP. Yeah. I'm like, this is weird. Like, this isn't Buffalo.
But was it Ravens fans chanting,
or
was
yes, they were Ravens
Bills fans chanting for Josh?
It was Ravens fans cheering for Lamar Jackson. Anytime he made a play, you heard every Ravens fan in the building just chanting MVP. Yeah. Like, I'm like, that's really weird for it being a home game, because you would think that as a home game, Buffalo has one of the best followings of any teams.
But I'd say the Ravens are getting to that point where they're becoming a top tier team now.
They've been that way.
Yeah, but I'm saying it. I think now their fans are starting to travel better, and Baltimore's not that far from Buffalo.
It's true.
And it's an early game, so they're not coming here in December.
No, you're right.
So
That's
it's
a warm weather game.
It's a warm weather game. It's not far. It's the home opener. Yeah. There's a lot of hype on this game.
Yep.
I think they just ended up buying a lot more tickets than we expected, but not totally surprised. But you're right. I mean, the Bills.
I also
usually
think a lot
out.
of Bills fans probably sold their tickets.
Yeah.
Just because they thought Week 1 Ravens revenge game, quote unquote.
Well, also we're down.
They were probably thought they were going to lose. I'm talking about the fans that like sold. These chants were happening in the first quarter.
Okay, and I was going to say I could see that kind of at the end of the game because people were leaving. But
even
in the first couple quarters, I mean, we played down pretty much the whole game. We only had the lead for half a first quarter. I can kind of see us getting quiet. And we had nothing to cheer about, really.
We really didn't.
We had when we get a touchdown, we were cheering, but we were still down by a score and a half. We get a touchdown, we're cheering, but we're still down by a score and a half. So that's why I'm saying, like, they were in the driver's seat the whole game. You're definitely going to hear the other team's fans cheering a lot louder than your fans when you're not in control of the game.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I agree with that.
Let's get into next week's game here. Bills are going to face the New York Jets, East Rutherford, New Jersey. 1 p.m. start time. One of our rare 1 p.m. start times of the year.
4 or 5, we said?
I think four games this year are 1 p.m. Jets coming off a loss to the Steelers. Good game, 32-34.
That was a very good game.
Justin Fields actually looking good. 3 total touchdowns, no turnovers. I said we just played Lamar, and now we're playing Lamar light.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I'm hoping the Bills don't take the Jets light, and they can use this momentum from the comeback to win the game. I don't got a crazy lot written down on this, but just looking at the matchup, the Bills should handle this team. I think we're like 67% chance should win this game, looking at the splits. It's an away game. We're not going to have the home crowd behind us, but it's the Jets. And I think that, as good as Fields played, he historically has never been like a poised quarterback back there. We know he's talented. We know he can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He's never been consistent at it. And I'm just hoping that the defense kind of learns from last week and makes the proper adjustments, because we basically have a do-over on, like I said, Lamar light. So they can use that, like, hey, what did we do wrong against Lamar? Let's correct that. We can probably implement that same game plan against Justin Fields, similar with the running ability.
Right.
And they can make some adjustments.
Yeah, so my takeaway on this game coming up is it's going to be, so Joey Bosa almost, and I say almost, he was so close to sacking Lamar Jackson 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage when he ran back. Close. It was so close. And I said to myself, that's the only quarterback that's going to get away from Joey Bosa at that moment. He was so close to sacking him. I don't think Justin Fields is Lamar Jackson, even though we call him Lamar Jackson light. I don't think that if that were Justin Fields, Joey Bosa's getting that sack.
Probably.
And I think Joey Bosa would have had a better game stat-wise if he gotten that sack on him. But, I digress a little bit. But my biggest takeaway is going to be Breece Hall looked really good last week.
19 for 107 against the Steelers.
And who also have a very good run defense in, TJ Watt.
They have a good all-around defense.
Yeah, all-around defense.
I'm surprised
how
many points they put up against them.
So I think the Steelers defense is a little bit better than ours overall as a whole. I think our run.
I say they're a lot better than our defense.
I mean, our run stopping sucks.
Name for name, though, like Jalen Ramsey. Like they have
Jalen Ramsey's past his prime.
He's
he
not
looked
past
great
his,
though.
He did look real. He looked real good, dude. And
maybe
he had to cover
the,
Garrett Wilson the whole game, and he looked good, dude.
Maybe he had the Miami flu then, because when he was in Miami, he looked like shit.
But nobody wants to be in Miami, as you can see with Tyreek Hill. We'll get in that a little bit later. But I mean, he had to lock down Garrett Wilson that whole game. Now, he didn't lock him down because Garrett had, 7 for 95 and a touchdown. But
that's respectable.
It's still respectable, but he still held his own, and he made one of the biggest plays at the end of the game, jarring that ball loose. So, Jalen Ramsey's still good. I would still want him on my team.
I think he's good. I don't think he's elite. I wouldn't put him in the same category as, like, level of, like, eliteness next to TJ Watt. Like,
two different positions, though. So that's hard
but it's one of those things. Like Jalen Ramsey, when he was in Jacksonville, was a stud. He was absolutely phenomenal. And then he went to the Rams, wasn't the greatest. Went to Miami, wasn't the greatest. His debut in Pittsburgh. So
Denzel Ward, Jair Alexander, Marlon Humphrey, Sauce, Surtain.
Stephon Gilmore, that can't be.
That's
that can't
definitely
be
old as all hell. Jalen Johnson, who was hurt on Monday Night Football for the Bears. Trent McDuffie, Singletary Jr. So, like, these are all guys I would agree.
Yeah.
Slay's still good. I'd say Slay and him are about the same because they're both older players. But I put him in there. I put him in a little top 10. Little top 10 talk. I don't know, but
maybe top 15. I'd put him top 15 total in the NFL. I think that's respectable.
They definitely have weapons, though, offense and defense, and it's a home game for them. And they're coming off a loss, and teams coming off a loss are going to be hungry for a win, especially when they put up points, because now they believe, look, we threw up 32 on a Steelers defense.
That's what I mean.
I think we have a chance to put some points up and possibly beat the Bills. You know, they're going to be going in this game thinking they're going to take our heads off. That's why I'm saying don't take them light, and I'm hoping that the Bills just use that win as motivation going into this one. I did see, and I brought this up here, James Cook got the Q next to his name, hamstring, limited in practice today. Don't know where that came out of. This is the NFL for you, dude. There's like random injuries that just pop up during the work week, and then a guy just isn't at practice or limited at practice. I don't think it's going to be anything serious. If it was something serious, I feel like you would have heard about it a lot sooner than now. So it might be something they're just going to monitor and just limit his reps throughout the week.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this is one of those things where the Jets are actually, I think, better this year with Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers, which is crazy to say. But I think Justin Fields' mobility actually helps the Jets as a whole compared to Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Didn't look horrible last year. Had some very decent numbers.
He didn't look horrible last week. He beat this team.
No, I'm saying, we're looking like old man Rodgers. He's done. He's out of here. He's gonna look like shit. But he didn't look like shit last year. He actually had very respectable numbers,
especially the second half of the year too.
The problem is they lost a lot of games because he can't scramble like Justin Fields. So now back-to-back weeks, we get a mobile quarterback and a very good running back.
Yeah.
And they actually have a very good backup running back in Braylon Allen too. So they've got two running backs.
Through guys a lot more.
Yeah, they do. But I'm just saying. So I really think I hope the Bills don't keep celebrating last week and forget about this week coming up. Like, oh, look what we did against the Ravens. Oh, we got the Jets. They look like shit last year. We beat them last year both times. We swept them, whatever. I don't want them to think that, like, this game's going to be a cakewalk, especially in New Jersey. This is going to be a lot harder of a game this year in New Jersey than it was last year because you got to contain Justin Fields. The offensive line got better in the offseason, and Breece Hall looks really good.
So the under-over on this game is 46.5, and I'm very tempted to take the over. I'm very tempted to take the over. After them putting up 32 and we're putting up 40 points against a Baltimore defense, who I think the Baltimore defense is better than New York's defense, and I think the Steelers defense is good. So you had both teams that are playing this week play against defenses that are also good in the previous week.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that's way too low.
I might make that a mortgage bet. If that's available now to bet on, I might make that a mortgage bet.
After the podcast, we're going into the account. We're going into the account.
We're going in. We're opening up the betting accounts.
And the 6.5 even might be a lockish too. I think that's...
Look at that pour.
That's a good pour right there.
Great
Except
pour.
the head's a little bit big on it. But it's a good pour. It's a good pour.
It was a good pour until I said it was a good pour, and the head's like popped up. So, but that's all right.
No, so also side note here, Jets, Patriots, Miami all lost. Bills are 1-0, leading the division after
we already
1
won
week,
our
too.
division.
We won the
Week
division.
1, we won the division.
But yeah, and I will also say this is probably, well, I hope it's not, but this is the only time that Keon Coleman is going to have a better stat line than Garrett Wilson after one game here. Like 112 for a touchdown, 95 for a touchdown. Both did great. Like that's still a good stat line.
But Garrett Wilson's, I think, the only wide receiver that the Jets actually have.
That is true.
If they
but
get
that's why it's never that way.
But if they get a lockdown corner, like, Jalen Ramsey last week, he had a very respectable game.
Benson's going to have a hard time, I think. Benson had a hard time against Zay Flowers. He was torching us.
Yeah, he was. Absolutely.
I don't think, and our secondary looked bad. Like the safeties, Rapp didn't look that great. Bishop still not looking that great. I don't think Jordan Poyer is going to make any difference. He's 100 years old, and Zay Flowers would run right by him.
Squad.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you got a lot of people believe in that Jordan Poyer could make a difference if we start playing him. We're living off of this old kind of, he's more of a locker room guy. He's going to be a guy that, depending on the matchup,
helping everybody.
But depending on, I think, the matchup, you can play him.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers is fast. He's going to dust Jordan Poyer.
Mm-hmm.
You are not going to leave Jordan Poyer got dusted 3 years ago by him. So you're not going to leave that guy out there. So depending on the matchups, if it's not a lot of speed on the field, I could see them, hey, man, we're going to play the Panthers. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't got a lot. We can put Jordan Poyer out there.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's going to be weeks where we get matchups where it's like their wide receivers aren't the fastest. We could probably give somebody else a little bit of a rest. We can get Jordan Poyer out there, so we still got it. But yeah, I agree. Like Jordan Poyer, I think the majority of the reason he's still here, he's a locker room guy.
He's a locker room
guy. He's going to help these other safeties, cornerbacks, and just he's like basically their dad at this point. Like, all right, he's teaching them things. He's showing them different things that he's learned throughout his career.
Oh yeah,
and just all of that. So I kind of think I like the Jordan Poyer signing. I'm glad he's on the practice squad because I didn't want him on the main roster. Same with Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips, actually played better than Ed Oliver in the playoffs last year. But Ed Oliver, if he continues if he plays every single game the way that he played week 1 against arguably probably a top 4 offense in the AFC between Kansas City and you got the Bengals and you got the Ravens. I don't know if there's any other AFC team that I think can compete with the top 4 between Buffalo.
I mean, after this week, definitely not the Broncos. I thought they might be in there.
No,
the Chargers look good.
Broncos are going to be good.
The Broncos barely beat the Titans.
I'm telling you, I think this year.
No, that's what I mean. Like after this week, I don't know.
But I think this year's Broncos team would have given more of a fit to the Bills last year when they played them in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'd almost put money on that at that point because the Broncos actually look really good. I know they didn't have a decisive win this week, but I think the Broncos as a whole have gotten better, and they're one of the top
Steelers.
5 defenses.
Steelers definitely are going to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
The Broncos could be in the conversation. Yeah, that's it for the AFC though, and then like you said, the Ravens, possibly
the Titans. Also, by the way, Cam Ward figured out why they were the first overall pick. He
looked fine.
Their wide receivers had a lot of drops.
That last drive of the game,
Cam Ward looked really good. I don't care what anybody says about that.
He was poised in the pocket.
Yes.
He hit 3 different receivers. They all dropped the ball.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like that score probably would be a little bit different. I also think the Broncos, that score also looks different because the Broncos didn't have to play more aggressively on offense because the Titans' offense looked so fucking bad. It was just like, what are we going to do here? We don't have to be aggressive.
They're calling for. So I watched NFL First Take and Nick Wright.
I love Nick Wright. As much as he hates the Bills,
well, he's got some dumb takes, but
he does. But I think he's also right a lot too.
He is. Except, did you see Mahomes' mountain where he still put Mahomes on the top, even though Josh was the one spot, he put Mahomes above him.
Yeah.
Because he said that they got to give Mahomes a 2-game grace period because he's always been on the top. So it's not fair to take him off the top yet. But no.
I kind of agree.
You have to, dude. This a new season, dude.
They've been to the last five of the last 6 Super Bowls. I'm actually going to agree with Nick Wright. Well, I think Josh Allen's better than Patrick Mahomes.
He shouldn't be on the top. He should have bumped down to second tier. It should have been Lamar and Patrick. Lamar and Patrick and Josh at 1. That's all. And it was a because it wasn't like they had a shootout and it was no, he did terrible. He didn't have a good game. He had an okay game, but it wasn't. So, anyways, I don't know.
No, I do like Nick Wright. I hate that he's an anti-Bills.
No, he's not anti-Bills. He's just so pro Chiefs because he does give the Bills props, and he does like Josh.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some other NFL news here. We'll start with the Thursday game, Cowboys-Eagles. Game started off really interesting. Jalen Carter ejected immediately after kickoff, spitting on Dak Prescott. Dak started it. What I saw was Dak spit near him in his direction.
He spit on the ground in front of him.
Spit on the ground in front of him. This dude hawked to it right in his freaking jersey.
Did you see those memes?
Dude.
The memes were phenomenal for
this. But I don't understand. I get it. You're in the moment. Dude, there's a million cameras. You weren't getting away with that.
The ref was to his right directly. He might not have been blindside view, but he was here to him. He could see everything. You might not have seen him.
Yeah, it's
fully, but you got it. You were
me.
Walking up, and that ref was still next to you that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That was unreal that he did that.
He was fined $57K. They said game suspension, but because it actually happened
technically before the game,
that counted as the game suspension.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
I guess I'm okay with that because you're right. He did miss the entire game. I think they should have fined him $100K. I'll be honest. These guys make way too much money. He's a Pro Bowler too. He's getting paid. They should have fined him minimum of $100K because you got to make sure that it hurts a little bit. I still think $50K, $57K, although I thought it was going to be $20K, which those guys wiped their ass with.
Literally.
All of a sudden, the TV volume came out of nowhere.
I heard the same thing. I haven't heard this TV since the last 40 minutes that we've been on, or 30 minutes that we've been on.
Folks, the deaf guy heard the TV get on.
Yeah, the deaf guy heard the TV. So
that's
my left ear doesn't work, but my right ear's to the TV. But I haven't heard it. Anyways,
so we agree. We agree though. Yes. We think the fine was correct. The game suspension thing, I guess, was correct. But
Dak should have been fined the same amount, or
not even close to the same. Not even close to the same amount.
I bet you if Dak doesn't spit at him, neither does Jalen Carter.
I don't care. So you instigated the guy? Dude,
it was caught on camera. The NFL saw that. Oh, Dak spit first.
Yeah, that's fine.
Then Jalen Carter spit.
You can do that. Why can't you spit on the ground next to a guy? Okay,
he didn't spit next to himself. He looked at him,
spit in front of him. Okay, but it doesn't hit you, and that's the difference, though.
I don't care. So fine him half of it then.
I wouldn't say half of it, dude.
Dak also should have been fined for that because Dak instigated it.
5K.
Whatever it is.
10K.
I don't care. Dak should get something out of that.
I get you. I don't think it was that egregious, to be honest with you.
He was talking shit to Jalen Carter and then spit on the ground in front of him.
Players are talking shit all the time.
I get it. I know. Players shouldn't be spitting all the time at other players. And Dak instigated the spitting. I agree. Jalen Carter only got caught because it was main camera by that point because they were coming together. And Dak also was behind two of his offensive linemen and spit between them. I actually thought Dak almost spit on one of their shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm oh, that's fucked up. My bad. Let me wipe you off a little bit.
Spitgate.
Yeah, Spitgate. Yeah, we got Deflategate. We got Spygate. We got Spitgate.
All the S's.
Yeah.
Friday night game. Chiefs drop week 1 to the Chargers in Brazil. First time that Justin Herbert beats Mahomes since 2021. I did call this game on my bingo card. However, they did lose Worthy early in that game. Friendly fire hits Travis Kelce on a crossing route. I forgot how many weeks. I think 6 he's out.
Dislocated shoulder. I didn't see the severity of it. I didn't see any type of
It was
timeline.
It was at minimum 4 weeks, I think, is what they said.
Well, did they put him on IR? Because if he's not on IR, it's not 4 weeks.
I think they did.
George Kittle, while
can
you're
go
looking
back.
that up, George Kittle is on IR for his hamstring injury. Like, that was instant. That was like, oh, hey, I got a hamstring. I left after the first quarter, second half, whatever it is. But he is, George Kittle is on IR for 4 weeks. If Xavier Worthy is looking at 6 weeks, put him on IR because that frees up a roster spot. If they didn't put him on IR, it might not be, 4 weeks, unless it's still too early to tell. Like, yeah, they might have popped it back into place. We'll go through some testing, get the swelling down in the shoulder, and they'll go through, that phase of having to, check on it. But as far as I know, he's not on IR. If he's not on IR, you're better off checking fantasy football at this point.
I know, because
just search for Xavier Worthy. And if he's not on IR, then it's not.
I mean, he'll definitely be labeled as out. I don't think he's playing next week. I could have swore that
at this point he's probably questionable.
There's no way, dude. I don't think he plays next week.
Oh, he absolutely doesn't play next week. But I'm saying he's questionable for now, this early in the week on a Wednesday. But by Friday, after the 3 main practices,
he is questionable.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you're questionable until Friday.
Okay, so not undergoing surgery per Andy Reid,
which is good.
Worthy won't practice Wednesday, but it's still a good of an update as you can hope for after seeing the hit he took from Travis Kelce. The dude only weighs 165 pounds.
Oh my god, I wish I weighed that much.
Yeah, me too.
I got 80 pounds in that. Well, almost 80 pounds in that motherfucker.
It doesn't. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe that was.
Yeah, I don't think
so. Yeah. No IR for the guy, which is a good sign. So I don't think he's playing next week. So maybe as early as week 3, week 4, we could see him back as long as it's, That's
what I'm saying. Like, it was immediate after the game for the 49ers.
I thought he was coming back in that game because I saw him pop that shit back in place, dude. I thought he's good to go, but
he probably still
he can't move his arm, dude. He probably can't go like this. So
he can't wipe his own ass.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Another game, Colts upsetting the Finns 33-8. Is Daniel Jones this good, or are the Dolphins this bad? That's what I need to know.
Yes, because Daniel Jones showed flashes in Brian Daboll's first year as a head coach for the Giants, and he looked so good. And I was like, wow, he's mobile. He doesn't look like he's mobile.
No, Daniel Jones can run, dude.
He can run.
He can run.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Daniel Jones is a very good quarterback. And I just think he got the short end of the stick. But I also think they fucked up when it came to the contract signing. And the reason that he's still not a New York Giant is because they didn't franchise tag him and give Saquon Barkley the contract to keep him in New York. Because Daniel Jones needed Saquon more than Saquon needed Daniel Jones, which we saw last year. After we all know the story. Philadelphia goes on with the Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley. But I thought Daniel Jones showed flashes under Brian Daboll of being a good, competent quarterback. And I think, the Colts last year were a couple of games away from making the playoffs. They didn't miss by much.
It was very close last year.
And Anthony Richardson looks like a lost cause at this point. And
I was going to say it's not good. It's not good for him after the game that Daniel Jones had for him to return this season. So,
but he lost the locker room when he tapped himself out of the game after that rushing thing, and everybody tore him apart. He was tired. You're going to be fucking tired. You're playing football, which is arguably one of the most physical sports in all of sports. Across the entire globe. Like
UFC
is fake. UFC is borderline WWE. I'm just kidding. UFC is fun. It's not scripted by any means. But I think Daniel Jones was a good quarterback in New York. I just think they never had a good offensive line. The Colts offensive line looks so much better. And I kind of feel like there's something in the Indianapolis air after Jim Irsay passed away this year. His kids are running the team. His one daughter is actually on the sidelines with the headset on, making sure that people are making the correct calls and not looking like a dumb motherfucker, which I'm like, shout out to you, girl, because that's phenomenal, because I don't see any owners putting a headset on, and she's out here taking accountability for who she's paying.
Yeah.
Or, Jim Irsay's technically paying probably. however it works. But, good for her. And I really think that the Colts offensive line is much better. You got Jonathan Taylor, great running back.
Yeah.
They got a great backup. They've got a good tight end. Tyler Warren
looked great.
Looked absolutely
and
phenomenal.
They went to him early and often, dude. He had a
looked
great
fantastic.
game.
He didn't
Daniel
get a
Jones,
touchdown. A touchdown would have sealed that, fantasy week.
Where was he at
100%.
here?
Tyler Warren, 7
for 76. So
14.6.
I mean, that was a good week
He
for
had
a
9
rookie.
targets.
That was a good week for a rookie tight end, dude. So
for a tight end.
I love it, dude.
So I think the Colts are actually a better organization, and I'm kind of thinking this is going to be Sam Darnold 2.0. When Sam Darnold went to the Vikings,
Hey, that's a good point.
Perfect.
It fit, right.
Scenario.
It fit, though.
Perfect fit. Thank you. Perfect fit. I think this is Daniel Jones' second coming, and I actually think Anthony Richardson, you might as well just kiss that, 4th overall pick last year goodbye. But I think that saves the head coach and the GM a job by having Daniel Jones in there. I think the Colts could realistically win that division, which is a weak division. Houston didn't look good last year. Jacksonville didn't look good last year.
Houston didn't look good this year.
Houston looked like dog shit, but they've got some injuries. They're still trying to figure out some pieces. But, Jacksonville, I actually think Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good this week. I like
not terrible.
Not terrible. Better than last year. He's still coming back off an injury last year too, I think, right?
Yeah.
He was injured last year, so I think he's going to get his footing underneath him. But the Colts might actually take away that division.
I agree with pretty much everything you said there. I do think it's just it's a good fit for Daniel Jones, and I think it starts with it's just a better organization right now. The Dolphins are probably a dumpster fire where they're going to start trading or releasing players. Mike McDaniels will probably end up getting fired by the end of this year. I just think they're going to have to kind of do a reset at some point. A lot of people smarter than me were actually predicting them to be last in division, and I just couldn't believe it because the talent on paper is there, but I just don't think that you want to talk about Anthony Richardson losing the locker room. Mike McDaniels lost his players. Nobody respects them.
Tyreek Hill is losing it.
Well, he just wants to be out. And again,
I will fit on the sidelines on Sunday.
I'm going to double down and just tell you Tyreek is going to go to the
Chiefs
by
you
week
said
4,
that last week. I actually agree with you. I would not be shocked.
And if it's not there, he's off the team because he can't be there on the Dolphins anymore. I think he's seen enough. He knows he was bullshitting when he said Tua
2,000 yards.
When he said Tua was just as good as Patrick Mahomes when he first got to the team. Like, I get it. You're doing a publicity stunt because you're on the team. Nobody fucking believed you. All right, let's move on here. We got a couple more games. Raiders beating the Pats on the road 20-17. I didn't watch a lot of it. We had Red Zone up at Chris's, so we were circling through a lot of shit.
I watched Red Zone too.
I didn't watch a lot of that game. All I know is the Raiders won on the road, and that's something.
Yes.
Granted, it's the Patriots, but the Patriots are supposed to have a good secondary.
I'm a huge believer in Drake May.
A lot of people like Drake May.
And I hate that I'm a believer in Drake May because I'm a Bills fan and they're in our division. But I think Drake May is the real deal. And I think it might not be this year, but within the next year, 2 years before his rookie contract's up, they're gonna figure it out.
Nah.
They're gonna figure it out. Drake May is a legitimate quarterback.
That depends.
Maybe he has a Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones type of resurgence where he goes to an NFC team in like 2 or 3 years and we're not gonna worry about him. But I am a believer in Drake May.
I'll give you that. I do like Drake May as well. I think that the Bills are so tough that as long as Josh Allen's in the division, nobody's overtaking that. But he will get better. They got to get. I think they might need another, maybe a star around them. But I think they're going to try it this year with Diggs. We'll see what that does, and we got to see what.
Diggs looked okay last week.
I think he had like 6 for 60 or something. It was a respectable stat line.
This is a very weird week,
and he's coming off an ACL too, which I will give him on that.
Yes, it was also a very weird week. Like Jamar Chase had like 2 catches for 21 yards.
Yeah, 4 points. So not
fantasy-wise, I wasn't going off of fantasy.
Not great, dude. Well, I am, and 4 points is not good.
I have him in 3 leagues, so yeah, I needed that motherfucker. I'm 0 for 6 in fantasy leagues this week, so. But I don't overreact after week 1.
Yeah. Commanders dominating the Giants 21-6. Jackson Dart, week 4. Week 3, week 4,
probably
maybe
week 3 at this point.
Week 3. Russ
Russ didn't look good at all.
He didn't look good.
And I feel bad for him, but
I mean, there was no spark on that team. There's no dogs on that team. Like it felt like Washington just ran all over them. And shout out to Bill McCoskey, Krosky, Merritt, Krosky. We'll get it down. Running all over them. It's Deebo Samuel looks like rejuvenated. He was the leading receiver on the team. So, and Jaden Daniels still, I mean, definitely is going to go down. He's going to be so good. Way better than he should have been the number 1 overall pick. We'll just put it at that. Jaden Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
And then lastly here, the Vikings coming back to score 21 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Bears on Monday night. J.J. McCarthy, the real deal or nah? I mean, it's hard to say after one game. I think it was a lot of nerves in the first half because he had like 50 yards passing, and then the ends of the game.
They had 80 yards total
offense
after the first half.
Aaron Jones had 5 yards rushing until halftime.
The fact that I have in 3 of my fantasy leagues, I have J.J. McCarthy in 3 of them, and I also have Justin Jefferson in 2 of those 6 leagues.
Yep.
I was looking at my scores. I'm just like, I might not get over 50 points at this point because J.J. McCarthy looked nervous. He wasn't getting the ball to Justin Jefferson. I'm just like, I need this J.J. to J.J. connection real fucking quick, and it was not good. It looked bad, but I'm glad they turned it around.
They did turn around.
The Bears will be the Bears. Of course, they lost that game.
And that was my upset of the week was the Bears. And I know you ended up going with the Vikings, although you agreed with a lot of the points I was making.
Yep.
And I don't think they looked terrible. I think Caleb Williams actually looked really good.
No, Caleb Williams looked absolutely really good.
Dude, he can run the ball too, man. He's another guy that you kind of got to watch. Like, he gets out there in space, and he's actually got some speed. He actually sticked into the end zone on one of them. Same with JJ, though. JJ showed his wheels.
Yes, he did. That one touchdown, absolutely.
We're getting into the league now where it's like a lot of these quarterbacks coming out,
you
have to run the ball just a little bit, or at times.
Enough.
Not saying you have to be Jaden Daniels, but you have to at least run the ball.
You can't be Peyton Manning. You can't be Tom Brady.
Well,
you can't
I'd
be
like
Eli
to be Peyton Manning or Peyton Manning.
Right, but in this in their day and age when they were playing, Peyton Manning never ran the ball. Tom Brady never ran the ball. Eli Manning never ran the ball.
I'll take Peyton Manning any year, any decade.
I get it. I'm talking about mobility-wise. Peyton Manning was probably one of the worst.
He was the worst.
Maybe Ben Roethlisberger.
No, Ben could run.
Ben could keep his own in the pocket and escape hits and stuff, but Ben never actually had the yardage.
Yeah, he never had the yardage.
But he could
Peyton definitely didn't have the yardage.
Ben Roethlisberger was a big motherfucker.
But he's just shaking guys off.
Yes, that's what I mean. Point. He's in the pocket, pushing guys off of him, getting out right and left and making throws.
Yeah. He
wasn't running downfield for 30, 40 yards like Josh, Lamar, Jaden, Hurts, you name it.
All right, let's get into our pick'ems here. I'm going to recap last week. Both of us going 11-5, despite picking some different teams from each other. We still ended up with the same record, and we both got our bonus bets right here. We did a touchdown scores for the Saints-Arizona game. I picked Marvin Harrison Jr. You picked Kamara. They both scored one after another, so we locked up our bonus bets out there.
Do you want to announce our fuck up or just let them figure it out and go back?
No, it's fine. They can figure out.
Yeah, if you want to go back to week 1 or week 4 and figure out where we fucked up on that, I'll give somebody $10 if they figure out where our fuck up is, if they listen to this.
All right, let's get into this week. We got week 2 here, Thursday night football, tomorrow night. We actually have a good game. I will be putting some props on this game.
Yeah, me too.
So Washington, Green Bay. Green Bay, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this shit. I think Green Bay looked good against Detroit, but I think Detroit just looked really bad that game.
Weird. They looked like they were still figuring out their offense and defensive coordinators, which they both lost last year. I think they're going to be okay, but it's just one of those things. It's week 1. Like I said, week 1 in the NFL was very weird when it came to game scripts and all that.
I'm going to take Green Bay on this one. Home team. I think this is one I was just going to pick the home team on.
Yeah, I was like, this was a coin flip for me, and it landed on the home team. I'm going with Green Bay as well.
Jacksonville, Cincy.
I got to take Cincinnati in this one. They
bounce back.
They still won that game. They actually probably should have lost that 100%. Game.
If the Browns have a kicker, they lose.
Cincinnati, I don't think Jacksonville's defensive line is as good as Cleveland's, believe it or not. And Cincinnati almost let Joe Burrow get absolutely destroyed. I got to go with Cincinnati.
I'm going
in this one.
Cincy. I mean, I was close because this actually, and that's tough when it makes you think about this game, but it was close. Giants, Dallas. Dallas is going to roll this team.
I got to take Dallas as well. Dak actually looked really good despite the loss. I think that rain delay helped the Philadelphia Eagles last week because Dallas was rolling up until that point, and the Giants just look so bad. They've got some pieces to figure out. I bet you when Jackson Dart takes over, when we go back to Giants, Dallas, whatever that week that is, if Jackson Dart's a starter, I'd probably go with Jackson Dart and the Giants on that one.
All right, Chicago, Detroit, and this is the game we're going to find out if Detroit's actually a fluke team here. I'm going to roll with Detroit at home. They bounced back. They got embarrassed by Green Bay. Although I do like what I saw from Caleb Williams on the road, it's going to be a tough game for them. And in Detroit, they're both 0-1. Detroit's pissed.
Yeah. No, I think Detroit too. I think they're going to figure some things out. The new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, I just think they're coming. They got a couple people coming back from injury. They're going to get their footing right this week.
The Rams at the Titans here. This was a toss-up for me. I actually am going to go with the Titans on this one.
I'm going against you. The Rams actually looked like a nice, complete team. Tennessee, their wide receivers have the dropsies, I think that's gonna be one of those things where eventually they figure it out, but I don't think it's gonna be week 2.
New England at Miami. We just talked about how bad they are.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go with New England on this one. On the road, divisional game, anything could happen. But give me the Patriots.
The New England Patriots have one of the best records on the road in Miami. They always seem to beat Miami no matter what. So I'm also going to New England just because, like I said, I'm a believer in Drake May. I think Miami is borderline dumpster fire. There's a spark in that dumpster right now. It's about to ignite.
San Fran at the Saints. I can't pick the Saints until I see something positive out of that team this year. I'm going to go San Fran on the road. Although Brock Purdy, questionable.
No Kittle.
George Kittle out
for 4 weeks.
Juwan Jennings, questionable. McCaffrey did look good. We didn't talk about that at all, but McCaffrey did look good week 1.
Yeah, he looked that looked like MVP McCaffrey again.
You got a healthy McCaffrey. I think I got to give you the edge still.
Yep.
Bills, Jets.
Yeah, that's an easy one. I will never, ever pick against the Bills.
I picked against them last week. They actually almost lost, and that was crazy. I'm glad they came back. Seattle at Pittsburgh.
I got to go with Pittsburgh on
I'm
this
going
one.
Pittsburgh as well. Home team on this one. Aaron Rodgers just looks rejuvenated.
Yep.
Cleveland at Baltimore.
Got to go Baltimore.
I'm actually going Cleveland on this one. This will be my one that I'm being dumb on, and I'm going to go Cleveland.
Okay.
Just because they actually end up playing them close usually.
They do.
It is a divisional game. And it's early in the season. Now, I get it. The Ravens just put up 40 against the Bills. And Cleveland lost to the Bengals. Another divisional opponent. Barely. But the way that Myles Garrett was getting after the quarterback, Myles Garrett is better than any defensive player the Bills have.
Oh, 100%.
I think he'll be able to get to Lamar, and I think that Joe Flacco still gives him a good.
No, I don't hate your pick. I hope you're wrong though, because I picked him in my suicide pool.
I mean, it is a dumb pick, but I'm going to make one dumb pick, and it'll be this one.
Okay.
Denver at Indy. Oh,
this is a very good game. I hope this one's actually on TV, because I would actually, other than the Bills, I would watch this game if the Bills weren't on TV.
Yeah,
this is one of those games where you're probably gonna have to find it on Red Zone, depending on your location. But I really think Denver Indy is going to be good. I'm gonna give Indy the advantage just because they're home, and I saw how good they played last week. Denver also played good.
Yep.
I think Denver's the better team overall, but Indy home, I got to go with Indy.
Yeah, they're coming off that high off of Miami, whooping the shit out of them. Denver kind of played Tennessee too close for my liking, so I'm going to go with Indy. Carolina or Arizona. Again, this honestly is a lot closer on paper.
Yeah,
I think.
It really is. I could see Carolina upsetting them. If Carolina played the way they did last year against the Eagles and the Chiefs towards the end of the season, I'd be like, yep, Carolina, easy. But I actually think Arizona is going to take this one.
I'll go agree with you on this one. It's a little crazy. It could go either way. Philly KC Super Bowl rematch. From what I saw last week, dude, the Chiefs don't look that good. Philly still looks really good. I'm gonna go Philly on the road, dude. On the road, Philly. This might be dumb. KC could win this game, revenge game at home, but they don't have anybody. No. I don't know who Mahomes is going to pass the ball to himself. He's going to run a lot. Watch him run a lot this game. Yeah. Sunday night game, Atlanta, Minnesota. This is an interesting one.
This is a toss-up for me.
I know. I think this is a good game.
Technically a rookie quarterback, but also in his second year with Minnesota and J.J. McCarthy. Atlanta's got an actual second-year quarterback.
He only played a few games.
But he only played a few games last year, so it's kind of like one of those things.
Even Stevens?
I'm probably going to go to Minnesota in this game just because I think Justin Jefferson is a huge difference maker for this team.
Yeah.
And as much as I like Atlanta, I don't think Bijan Robinson is the difference maker because of Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason on Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I'm going Minnesota on this one.
I'm going to agree with you. I'll take Minnesota as well.
It sucks that I think we only have one disagreement so far.
Yeah, well, two, but I picked a dumb one. I did the Tennessee, you picked LA, and I picked Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Tampa, Houston. I'm going to take the road team. I'm going to take the Bucs
I got to go Tampa on this one. They look so good.
They did. And Houston, even though they're home, I didn't see anything special out of them out of that Rams game.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, I'm going to keep giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he has literally not looked good since 2 years ago. So
I'm going Tampa Bay as well. And then we get into the second Monday night game,
which is dumb because this is starting at 10 p.m. 10
you know what? It's better than last year when one started at 7, one started at 8. I like that one starting at 7 and one starting at 10.
Nobody's watching the 10 p.m. one, I'll tell you right
West
now.
Coast has the best.
West Coast is, but
West Coast has the best time zone
for football
in
general.
Or sports in general.
Because when they're done with the 1 o'clock games, it's like 1.
Yeah, literally.
It is 1.
Yep. And I'm going with the Chargers on the second Monday night game. I know Las Vegas won last week.
Chargers won too.
Chargers looked
divisional game.
Chargers looked absolutely phenomenal, and they made some plays that would have lost them the game a couple of years ago. I think the Chargers have finally figured it out a little bit. I'm going with the Chargers.
I'm going to make it a little interesting here, and I'm going to pick the Raiders on this one. At home, both teams coming off of big wins. Technically both on the road, even though the one was in Brazil. But Raiders on the road, get to come home. Genty actually didn't have a crazy game or anything. He
had a decent game.
I think he balls out on this game at home in front of the home crowd. I think he'll be the difference maker. Omarion Hampton didn't even look that good against his debut. So, I don't know. Look, toss up for me, divisional game. It could go either way. I do think the Chargers have a slight edge, but give me the Raiders at home.
I actually might take the screenshot of this pick, and I might actually throw $2 on it.
Let's. I forgot what yours was. We'll get
Josh Jacobs 60+ yards.
So, folks, we're gonna do Thursday night bets, and I was gonna try to figure out how I wanted to track these for our bonus bets here. Last week we did a touchdown score from that Arizona game. This week, I don't want to go too far into the Sunday games because a lot of the props aren't released. They could change.
Yeah.
We're just going to do from this point on, week 2 on, we're going to do Thursday night props. It could be anything from a touchdown score. I don't care what you pick, but you got to pick your prop. And I don't want to do like adjusted odds. You can't do like, Kamara 10 yards rushing. Like it's got to be a real prop, right?
It's got to be a real prop. That's why I looked at it. I was like, so his lowest prop was Josh Jacobs for me was like his lowest prop on FanDuel was 30+ yards was minus like 1,100. And then 60+ yards was at about even. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to change mine to 70.
Plus 70?
I'm going to go 70+ yards.
That's not bad. A lot of people are riding that too.
I'll go 70+ yards on Josh Jacobs.
And I'm going to go Austin Eckler under 21.5 rushing yards. Green Bay had the number 1 rush defense this year
under
so
25.
far. And then, under 21.5. And last year they had the number 7 rush defense. Also, Austin Eckler's not the starting running back anymore. It appears it's going to be Bill. So with that being said, they'll use Austin Eckler in the passing game, and I think he'll actually do a good job receiving.
Yep.
I just don't think he's going to hit. Now, he did hit it last week. He got 27 yards rushing, but this is a better run defense. And I just think they're going to kind of phase him out after what they saw. Ja'Cory had like 75 yards rushing, something like that. So we'll go Austin Eckler under the rush yards. I'll take that. Lock it in. All right, folks. We had a good one today. Hour in 45 minutes? No, hour and 15 minutes. Sorry. Ooh, lost track of time. Hour and 15-minute podcast, guys. We got it done. I think this is going to be kind of the format going forward. We're going to talk Bills in the beginning. We'll do some NFL news in the middle, and then we'll do our pick'ems and bet of the Thursday night bet. But I like it. The beer was good this week.
Yep,
the Bills won. And we're looking forward to this upcoming game against the Jets. All right, guys, with that being said, I'm Mikey D.
I'm Jeff.
We out of here.
Go Bills.